ladies and gentlemen, to week 3 of my weekly anime roundup, where I go over all the shows I'm watching this season, what I like, what I don't like issues I have. Basically, I'm just gonna cover everything I'm still watching. If a show doesn't show up, that just means that I'm not watching it anymore. I will often tell you if I drop a show, but generally speaking, if I do, it's just not going to be the lineup anymore. So I just want to let people know that if they're like, "Oh, why isn't X show in the vlog anymore?" It's just because I just stopped watching it because either I lost interest or in most shows' cases they just kind of suck. So as usual, we are starting with the best show this season, although the best show this season, this episode is just kind of boring because it's more of them just, going down the road. I do like the fact that they're kind of introducing other characters, like they're introducing the organization that we're going to see more of later on. We don't really get to see very much of them, and it's mostly more of the road trip, but that's not necessarily bad because so far this show's kind of nice, and I like the interactions between the main characters. So whether this show gets worse or not depends on how much time and on how fast they get to the point. I love the fact that, remember how last week I said that the blonde character, whose name is apparently Reiji, remember how I said his whole thing is that he found a cat and he just spends the last 5 minutes snuggling? It's so cute, and his whole thing, as I predicted, is that he wants to protect this cat, and it's really adorable. And I really wish that he were the main character, because I don't mind Yamato, I think his name is. I don't mind him, but honestly, Reiji's motivation is it's so funny and it's so wholesome that I kind of wish that Reiji were the main character in this show. Other than that, it's basically just, the plot lines aren't really intersecting, which is weird to me because there's a lot going on in this show, but I really hope that everything connects soon, like the assassin girl and the Reiji wanting to protect his cat, and then there's the girl who's to the other girl's body, and then now she has to have another body, and then the assassin, and then there's the main I don't even know what the main character's motivation is actually. I actually have no idea. He's just been told, "Oh, you're gonna protect the Earth from these robots," and he's just like, "Okay." And I'm sitting here thinking, that's it? That's all? There's nothing, he wants to protect? Like I like the braided girl who, as I said, reminds me of Carly Nagi. I like the fact that she's trying to figure out what's going on, and she's gonna look into it, and the blonde cat boy, and I like the characters, basically, except for the main character, because he's kind of flat. Also, like I said last week, the battles themselves are just really boring. It almost feels like the author's trying to compensate by making a bigger cast, and that's really bad. So, this week we met a guy, and honestly, I'm not entirely sure what his purpose is. I know the show said, but honestly, I'm just kind of tuning out at this point, because I'm more interested in the pink-haired girl. I'm more interested in what her deal is, because I swear to God, they're gonna either say that he's the king, and she was his what's it called? I don't even know what they're called. What are his monster, basically? She was the card he used before the card he's using currently. Yeah, either that, or more likely this is going to be like Code Realize, and she's going to be his sister who, is creepishly obsessed with him. And don't get me wrong, I liked Code Realize. I actually watched that show and played that game specifically for Yuki Kaji, so that's not a complaint so much as it's kind of predictable. We're going to have to find that out next week, but it's more of a long battle this week, and that's my other big complaint, is that the battles take so fucking long. They take the entire episode, and it gets to the point where it's like cool for 5 minutes, but then I just start skipping through it because I'm like, I don't care anymore. Can we just, like, finish and move on, please? But yeah, next week we actually find out who this girl is. I'm pretty sure she's his sister. So basically, this show is, I want to like it. I really do. I like the idea, but it's one of those shows where the first episode is really good, and then the second episode spends the whole time explaining the plot, and then the third episode they don't fucking anything. Like, they literally spend the whole episode, oh, she's teaching him magic or something. I don't even care. Like, I want to see them assassinate people, basically. I just want to see them assassinate people. That's what I came into this show for. I think it's this one or the next one where he assassinates the lady and he just brutally is like, oh, and like, and she tries to beg and he's just like, nope, I'm just gonna kill you. I think it's this one or to tell you the truth, I'm kind of starting to blend this show together because it's basically just all the same thing. But, and I really wish they'd actually, do something. I really wish they'd get to the point where, he actually encounters the hero. That's gonna be fun, honestly. When he encounters the hero and has to deal with the, and has to, that'll be interesting. So remember when I said last episode, I think I said this, that his childhood friend was gonna have an angel? Well, I was entirely right, and I really like this angel. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's Revel, I think his name is. I'm not good at retaining names, but I think his name is Revel, and I like him because he's not exactly evil, but you can tell that he's not exactly... Oh, he's not a person, he's an angel. But you can tell that he's not exactly good, but he's not inherently evil either. Like, you can tell that he has, what is it, ulterior motives. You can just to team up. I like that. I think that's a very interesting idea. And it looks like at the end of the episode that they know it's a trap. They know that when they go to this place that probably something bad's gonna happen. But I find it kind of curious that they don't know what, so they're just like, why don't we go and why don't we see what happens? I think that's weird, honestly. I think it's very weird that they decide to go knowing that it's a trap and knowing that, something bad's gonna happen. It's strange to me. But at the same time, I can kind of understand because they need to get a grasp of the enemy, and they need, I don't know Metropolitan's real. I don't think we've found out his real name yet. But it's clear that he's not. It's clear that he's nuts, basically. But he's not stupid. They need to be able to figure out a way to beat him. But at this point, it looks like have a way to beat him, so they're just like, why don't we go to this thing and why don't we see what happens? So it looks like that's what's gonna happen next week. Next week they're gonna go to this event and they're gonna just find out what's up. So that should be interesting. I'm kind of biased on this one because I just really, really, really like brainwashing stories, so I can't really say anything bad about this episode just by, that fault alone. Also, I like the fact that the Digimon in this episode, I never remember their names, but he actually kind of reminds me of a Digimon. So, that's a plus. This series still doesn't entirely feel like a Digimon series to me. It feels like a supernatural story with the name Digimon tacked on top, but at least this episode was better than last episode, so that's a good thing. Also, the giant fluffy bunny Pokemon, why did I call it a Pokemon? The giant fluffy bunny Digimon is really cute, and I like him, and I like how he's kind of just a giant teddy bear, and I like the fact that he likes the little girl's music. That's really sweet, honestly. So, ignoring the actual Yu-Gi-Oh duel because it was really boring and I just don't fucking care, I do like the fact that they're kind of starting to introduce a plot. Like, I think this machine is something to do with, we know that Yugioh is doing something with the cards. We know that probably he's making them. Maybe, I don't know why he's making them, but he's making cards for something. And I think this machine has something to do with it. I also like the fact that, that the lanyard at the end interests me because Yugioh didn't come in with that, so obviously somebody else had that lanyard already. So I don't know if they're trying to imply that they were ready for him to be a sibling, or that maybe this is another trick. I don't know. I'm kind of slightly interested. At this point, I'm just basically skipping through the duels because I don't fucking care about the duels. They're really boring so far. Like, I don't care whose curry gets made, whose curry, I don't care. I'm probably gonna see this show through this season, and then maybe I'm gonna drop it because it's, like I said last week, I get they're trying to be a little bit nicer because they want to gear this towards children, but children are not stupid, and they actually need something to stimulate them. They need an actual plot to keep them interested. So I really wish they'd get to the point already, basically. And I really wish they'd, stop doing these long stretches of nothing happening. It's only interesting if we like the characters and we care enough about the characters. I just realized something. We never got a resolution, as far as I know, to that whole with the comic stuff where, Yugioh just shows up and they're trying to cheer him up. I don't think we ever got a resolution to that. And they just kind of left it at that. And I'm just like, considering he's the only character I actually like in this show, that kind of frustrates me. And that's really stupid, honestly. Okay, so this still is not the greatest thing. I still don't understand what any of this means, but I do like the idea, that, the Robin and his brother are pitted into different bands, and it's actually really, really sad that, they're once it gives the idea that once you're in a band you can't leave, and that's horrifying, honestly. He's given his soul to this other band member, and it just feels so squicky, okay. I also just really like Robin. He's cute. He's really cute, and that's pretty much it so far. There's nothing really heavy going on other than that, and I don't know what actually is happening in the show. I don't know what the purpose is, but I'm willing to keep giving it a chance, only because A, I really like Robin, he's adorable, and B, I want to know. I want to know what this shit is about, and why should I care? So, I like the Villain of the Week formula, where the villains send one of their pilots out to battle the heroes. And I like the fact that the main girl, I think her name is Dorothy, she wants to be a hero, and she doesn't want to have to rely on the main character, whose name I forget. I like that. But the thing that bothers me about this show is that, one, not a lot happens, and two, the villains just kind of fuck off after they get beaten. Oh, we're gonna beat you. Oh, well, your ship is falling apart, so the test is over. Come back. Okay, bye. That's literally it. That's all there is to it. The villains show up, they battle the heroes beat them, and then they just leave. And there's really no point to it. I don't know what they're doing there. I don't get it, and I don't find it interesting. I'm not really sure why I'm still watching it. Maybe I'm hoping it has a point. But it's really boring. And after this week, I might drop it because I have no vested interest in the show. I think it's mostly because I need more shows to pad my roster so I can possibly make a top and bottom 5, maybe 3. I'm pretty sure that's the only reason I'm watching this show, and that's not really a reason to watch this show. I have shows I watch in the background, like I'm still watching The Vampire Dies at Midnight. Not midnight. The Vampire Dies in No Time. I like that show. It just wasn't blog worthy, as I said. So, yeah, it's really boring. That's pretty much it for this week.